What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dad Bod Pod, a place for men to learn, grow, and live the healthiest life possible. We are your hosts, Jason Priest and Zach Smith. Anthony Hudson is traveling today, so he is not with us. But we've got an exciting episode for you guys today, and we're going to help you. Obviously, these episodes come out on a Monday. We're going to help you get ready for a dominant week ahead. Obviously, you might be listening to this later in the day on Monday, so maybe this helps you next week. But this episode will be extremely valuable for you guys. So if you are a first-time listener, thank you for tuning in, and we highly encourage you to go back and check out some of the prior episodes. There is a ton of valuable content for you there to help inspire, motivate you, and help you become the healthiest version of yourself. If you're a long-time listener, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your continued support. We greatly appreciate your support in our mission to make the largest impact possible on the male obesity epidemic in our country. And if you get value out of today's episode, please do us one favor. We don't beg or ask you guys to do much, but we don't run ads. We greatly respect your time. We try to keep these short and loaded with value. And so if you get value out of our episode today, please take 10 seconds. Just drop us a quick review. That's what helps grow the show. That's what helps gets the show into the ears of more men who could potentially change their lives and become the healthiest version of themselves. So, Zach, my man, what is up? How was your weekend? I'm ready for this episode.
Man, I'm doing great. I actually did a morning workout today, man. I'm not the guy that does the morning workouts, but today I did 6 a.m., huh? So be proud of me.
That is Anthony inspired. Look,
Yeah.
Anthony's not even here today, and he's got some influence over our actions, apparently. I don't know how you did that because I could not do that on a Sunday morning.
Hey, we're just three guys trying to better each other, right? And bring everyone as many people as we can with us.
No doubt. Well, I'm excited for this episode, man. As you and I chatted a little bit before, I think this is a topic where a lot of guys go wrong, right? And a lot of guys, I feel like we are very good at self-sabotage. And so I think that creating a plan is great, but when life kicks you in the face and that plan gets a little bit derailed, we've got to have the ability to pick up and keep moving forward. And I think that piece is something that it's simple, but it's extremely difficult to establish the discipline to be able to do that on a consistent basis. The concept is simple, but it is absolutely not easy. I know that in my life, I will still self-sabotage myself on occasion when it comes to health, because it's almost like one mistake becomes leverage to do it again, right? One bad meal becomes built-in leverage to make another piss poor choice. And so what we want to talk about today is how Zach and I go into a week and really have a healthy mindset, creating this plan to have a healthy week, but then also how we're able to pick shit up whenever life does kick us in the face. So Zach, I'll let you kind of kick things off, because I know we chatted a little bit before on before the show started, and you mentioned that your preparation really happens on Sunday. And if I'm being honest, I will say the same thing. But we also are very big on Monday momentum, right? But I think the plan has to come on Sunday. And in reality, that's what we do too. So what is your take, man? And kind of what is your approach going into a new week, knowing that not thinking, but knowing that you're going to have a healthy week ahead?
Well, first, I think it's important to note that whether you start on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we don't care. It doesn't matter. As long as we set up the next 7 days.
Start now, damn it.
Yeah, start now. That's all we care about. I know we don't care what day it is. They all end in Y, okay? So it does not matter. I just prefer to do it on Sunday because it's a calendar week. So just visually, it's easy for me. I'm a simple dude. So I think one thing when it comes to setting up your week for success, a lot of people don't realize this, but they think when you wake up, that's when your day starts. Your day starts the night before. Okay, so you have to, if you want to have a successful day, you have to have a successful night, because there are things, and we won't even get into all the stress and the sleep, but we want to go into the day with a plan, already having a plan, okay? And when we wake up, I mean, you guys, I know you guys listening have had those days where you had something on your mind, there was something that you needed to accomplish, and it did not get done that day. And when you wake up the next day, You wake up with a big hit of cortisol, like an extra hard hit of cortisol, where you wake up sweating and you're like, oh crap, I have so much things to do, so much things to do. So what happens? You started your day behind the curve already. So that's why I say a good day starts with a good night. You want to definitely get those thoughts out of your head. If you have things that you need to get done, but you weren't able to get it done, guess what? Write it down. Write it down.
Yep.
Sometimes life's going to happen. Sometimes we really, truly can't just accomplish the things we need to get done in a day. So write it down so it's off your mind. So when you wake up the next day, you're like, oh, there was something I needed to get done, but I don't remember what it was. It sounds stupid. It sounds simple, but that will ease your mind so much that when you wake up, you can hit the ground running because now you have some type of structure. I can't emphasize how important having at least some kind of structure is in order to set your day up for victory. So that's what I like to do. I like to start my Sunday off knowing exactly what I need to do and everything else I need to accomplish for the rest of the week. Now, I'm not saying you have to stick strictly to that, but you want to at least have some kind of guidelines. And that's what I like to do. How about you, Jason?
No, I love it, dude. And you brought up some great points, and I'll touch on, what Sunday looks like for our family. So for example, like today, we're recording this on a Sunday. We usually have team meetings on Sundays and record a lot of our podcasts on Sunday. So right now it is Sunday and it's almost noon. My plan today, it's nice here. I'm going to get outside, get some vitamin D, do some active stuff with my son outside. So we always try to do something active outdoors on Sunday if the weather is good. And then we always have a healthy meal on Sunday evening, but we make it fun. And so, because it's the weekend, we want to do something a little bit more fun than our traditional. We call them go-to meals during the week. So tonight we're doing steak tacos, and people look at that and they're like, "Yeah, healthy? What?" It will be a very healthy meal. I will watch my portion. That's the one thing is like, if I eat a third taco, it might go a little over on the portions, but the reality is we're going to have a giant kale salad, not a big basket of chips and queso. The tacos are the standalone one thing. There's going to be some carbs in the tortilla, but we buy high quality tortillas. So we go into the week with a healthy meal planned on Sunday night. I'm grilling out. So will I have a couple of beers? Maybe. And that might be the unhealthiest thing that I do on Sunday, because I know that I want to lay that foundation going into Sunday evening. I want to get to bed on time so that when I wake up on Monday, all the things that I thought about that I needed to get done on Monday and really hit the ground running are going to start to unfold for me because I already have a plan. To your point, Zach, making a list is huge. I think that so many people just try to get everything done flying by the seat of their pants. And when you don't have a list and you don't have concrete, solid structure, like you mentioned, it leads to a bit of anxiety because you start to feel like you're going to forget something, or you're leaving something out, or maybe one thing that you thought was a high priority got left off the list, and now you can't remember what it was until the next day, and then you're like, oh shit, I forgot to do that, And so I think Anthony would be proud of this too, because he's very big on list making as well. If we're going to go there again, I think it's a powerful thing. It seems so elementary, but to your point, like, keep it simple, stupid, man. Like, if you keep it simple, just like what we talk about with the 4 core pillars, it doesn't need to be any more overwhelming than that, right? 4 things. You focus on sleep, managing your stress, making smart choices when it comes to nutrition, and staying active or getting active. That's it. There's no more, don't let it be a convoluted process, right? And so I think that's where a lot of guys go wrong, is trying to have this perfect plan. And as we say, right, the imperfect plan followed consistently will destroy the perfect plan followed inconsistently every single time.
If ever even done at all.
Yeah.
So I like where you're going with this. It's like a perfect segue into what we want to talk about next, which is, so what do you do when you have this structured week and then something bad happens? What's one thing that you like to tell, like, clients of ours, for instance, who say, oh man, I messed up with this or that. What do I do now? What would you tell this person?
Yeah, and I'll use the example. We had a client not long ago, and I'll use this example here. Use him as an example. Shout out to you, Steve, if you're tuning in here. So Steve, one of our clients, reaches out to me, and it's like not even noon, in the middle of like a Tuesday or something. And he seemed a little bit distraught. He's like, dude, I had a donut. I think, I can't remember exactly, like a donut and, a soda or something to start the day, which you literally could not start your day in a worse way, Steve, if you're listening. But when you start your day with sugar and on top of more sugar, it's going to set your day up in a pretty shitty way, because you're going to have a crash. You're going to have more sugar cravings, and then this vicious cycle can start. But he reaches out. He's like, man, I had a donut and a soda this morning. I don't even know what happened. I'm like middle of the day here. I'm frustrated with myself. That this whole day is turning out to be, shit. And I'm like, dude, you need to stop, like take a step back and look what time it is right now, right? It's not even noon where you're at. Right? He's a couple hours. I think he's in Pacific time, Arizona, I think. And so he's like, you're not even at noon yet. And you're already considering the day a failure. And the reality is this is life, and life is going to punch you in the face sometimes. All right. So I told him, look, you can turn this entire day around with just a couple of choices. Make good lunch choice, get something healthy for lunch, drink lots of water the rest of the day, and get your workout in tonight. And you will go to bed knowing that this day was a win, a huge win. It can go down as a success, even though you started it literally in the worst way possible when it came to your nutrition. You flipped the script and dominated the rest of your day, which makes that day go down as a win. And so many guys out there let that one mistake compound, right? They make that one decision. They're like, you know what? I screwed up for breakfast, so I guess I'm going to go eat fast food for lunch, and then I'll have some more soda in the mid-afternoon, and then it spirals. He would have done that and would have never gotten his workout in, would have never drinking any water. And just that one little shift in his mindset, he went to bed knowing he got it all done. He messaged me the next day. He's like, dude, like I feel so good about myself and the decision that I made for the rest of the day. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we talked, because I now know that this is a lifetime journey. It's not something that, that one decision is going to make or break my progress or lack thereof. And that's where I think a lot of guys go wrong, man. So what are your take on that?
So you covered a lot of good stuff, man. And it got me thinking, like, so what does it take to have a successful week? And I'm thinking now, after this, while this conversation is unfolding, it takes a little bit of structure, but it takes a whole lot of mindset. Yeah, I think that's really kind of what it is, right? It's like the law of attraction. Whatever it is that you focus on, it will manifest in itself, right? So are we going to focus on that 1% of the day where we messed up? Because there's 24 hours in a day, So it all depends on what you want to focus on, right? There's two kinds of people. There's the people that's going to find the silver lining, like Steve did, because after talking to you, Steve realized, hey, there's so much day left for me to take control of and win, right?
Absolutely,
but he could just have easily focused on that 1%. Because that one meal is just a small little speed bump in the grand scheme of things, right? That's it. But if you decide to focus on that 1%, guess what happens? It becomes 2%, then 4%, then 8%, then 16%, and it compounds in a negative way. So it's all about what type of person are you and what do you want to focus on.
You're allowing that one decision to gain so much energy and influence in your own brain that it was 1%. Became 50%, all because you allowed it to happen, right? And we talk about that a lot when it comes
momentum works both ways. It works both ways.
For sure. No, I love that you went there, because the reality is this, man. Like, and for those of you guys out there listening, I don't care how many meals you eat a day. Maybe you're a 5 or 6 meal a day guy. Maybe you're a once a meal a day guy. Now, if you're a once a meal a day guy, I highly encourage you to stop that shit, because you're not going to get very far. But let's say the average person eats 3 meals a day, right? If we're just talking nutrition mindset, this hopefully will unpack this a little bit so that you guys can see the reality here. All right. So let's say the average dude eats 3 meals a day. That's 21 meals a week. Okay. You screw up 2, 3, 4 of those meals. Look, depending on how bad you screw up, it might slow down some of your progress, right? If 4 of those meals you ate 5 pieces of pizza, which is shit food, in terms of nutrients, but also that's piss poor portion control. So you compounded the problem with 4 meals, right? So you ate 20 pieces of pizza. Is that going to impede some of your results? Most likely, yes. However, that's not the reality for most people. they'll have, a couple of bad meals in a week and feel like that, like the sky is falling. Okay. 21 meals in a week gives you some leeway to mess up a couple of times and not beat yourself up. I'll use myself as an example. I probably, let's see, most of the time, I'm a 4 meal a day guy. I eat 28 meals a week if we're taking on an average basis. Well, Friday night is always a very bad meal in terms of nutrition. This week it was pizza. I ate too much pizza. Last night we went out for burgers, and I got a burger called the Hog Wild Burger. Shout out to the Grind Burger.
That sounds damn
Castle
good.
Hills. You guys are my jam. If you live in the Dallas area, go there. You can, dude, check that out.
Hey, we're going there in April.
We will go there. It is fantastic, my man. So, so I had the Hog Wild Burger, ate too many blackened fries, and had a couple margaritas. So really shitty nutrition. All right. So 2 nights in a row, piss poor nutrition. And again, going back to what we talked about before, going into a healthy week with a plan, Sunday night, this is going to be, what some people would say is a cheat meal, but we're going to make very healthy steak tacos. And so, yeah, it's still fun, but I didn't beat myself up because I had 2 planned cheat meals. And so even if they aren't planned, you don't need to beat yourself up. The reality is a couple of mess ups when you're trying to eat healthy and you're doing, 17, 18, 19 healthy meals in a week, but you mess up a couple of times, is no reason to self-sabotage and create this impending doom feeling that a lot of you guys out there do, man. You got to knock that off. And this is all mindset stuff. So that's my 2 cents when it comes to the self-sabotage piece.
Yeah, man, absolutely, dude. I was like doing a little bit of math on my phone, and if you have 21,
I saw you over there. You're like, okay, how many meals do I eat?
I had to double check, dude, because I help people lose weight, and I'm damn good at it. But you know what? I'm no mathematician.
I understand.
so if you have 21 meals a week and you mess up on 3 of them, dude, you still have like an 86% win rate, man. That's pretty damn good, dude. So we just want to again emphasize: get up, dust yourself off, and get right back on track, man. You're going to be perfectly fine. Look, we're not trying to enable you to be like, oh, I could mess up 3 times a week then. No, we're not saying that.
It's not a built-in excuse. Look, you guys have to realize I'm in maintenance mode, okay? I'm not trying to lose weight, nor am I trying to gain any mass right now. I'm a dad running on fumes, just trying to maintain. But I have 2 planned cheat meals in my week every single week. If you're out there and you're trying to lose a bunch of weight, maybe you got 50, 60, 80, 100 pounds to go. Maybe you limit that to 1 meal a week, 1 fun meal a week, so that you don't drive yourself insane by trying to restrict yourself. But the reality is, Zach, and we've talked about this before, is that some of our most enjoyable meals are some of our healthiest meals. I'm going to love the shit out of these steak tacos tonight. And I know they're pretty freaking healthy for me, but they're going to fuel my body properly. I'm going to feel good tomorrow. And that's the reality. And so I think there's a lot of ways you can look at this. When we say mess up, like, you guys know what a mess up is. You know that if you go through the McDonald's drive-through,
you're a big boy. You know. Don't act like you don't know, guys. I know you know.
Right. And so I think that's a key piece too, is like, these guys got to realize, man, it's about your own journey and where you're at. Our goals are different than your goals. But this all comes down to mindset and being able to, like Zach says, get up, dust yourself off, and move on, man. Like,
march on.
This is a journey, and we tell every single private client that we bring on board with us is that no matter where you're at, what your weight loss goal, we got guys who have come in at over 400 pounds, right? So if you have 100 or 150 pound weight loss goal, eventually you're going to get there. But when you do, life is not going to just suddenly stop. You've got to realize that goals are fun to talk about, but eventually they're going to happen if you put the reps in, you put the things in place that you know you need to get there. The reality is what happens next. And what happens next is really, that's the discipline that you've got to instill in your mind and be able to embrace this as a journey. So many people get so fixated on that short-term goal, and then that becomes their driving force. And when the goal happens, it's like, okay, check that off my list. Time to go back to my old ways. And then it's a vicious cycle.
That's a whole nother topic that we can get
Yeah.
into for a whole nother episode, man, because that is all too common, man. Quick stat before we even wrap up. A majority of people in the world will lose a significant amount of weight in their life. But the problem is the losing the weight part is apparently easy because everyone does it. But 95% of them will gain it back, if not more, by year 3. After year 1, that stat is over 70%. But by year 3, over 95%. So that tells me one thing. What they're doing is not sustainable. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. So
you're
you
right.
hit on
We're
a good
the
point.
Anti-fad diet guys.
Anti-fad diet gang, man.
Yeah, as you guys all out there listening know, we do not believe in any of that nonsense. But because to Zach's point, and I'll use keto because it's the most popular one. I have seen so many keto horror stories where a guy lost 60 to gain 80, or a guy lost 30 only to gain 40 back. Because it's not sustainable. And I think
here's another quick one that I know of somebody. Somebody was doing a contest prep for a bikini competition, and one of the coaches had her doing keto for 4.5 or 5 months for her prep. She ended up having to get out of the competition, and she ended up going in the hospital instead.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah. And look, I don't know how much you know about keto. We've never really gone there because it's.
I did it for 3 months just to have I did it for 3 months. Full disclosure, right? Just so that I can have the experience. So whenever anyone wanted to talk to me about it, I can be like, look, I did it. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I did it. So
I've
I
done
can
it
speak from
myself
firsthand
too,
experience.
and I think,
I don't want to do it again. I'll tell you that.
No. I think the reason I wanted to bring it up though is that, and a lot of the guys out there probably listen have no clue on this, but the reality is keto itself as a diet was never started as a weight loss strategy. It just wasn't. The reasoning behind the diet, it is tied to seizure, epilepsy. And then they've also found some studies that using keto in cancer situations, because cancer cells feed off of sugar. So cutting as much sugar out if you do have cancer could potentially help that process along.
You know what though, dude?
Those are extremes. This is not weight loss.
Not only are they extremes, but they've also found that not all cancers feed off glucose and sugars. Some of them actually feed off ketones better. So it depends on what kind of cancer it is. But that's been used as a blanket statement. So that's dangerous in itself already. But again, that's a whole other conversation. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. We don't have to go down the keto road. But I think in conclusion for today's episode, man, and I think let's bring it full circle. I think the reality is these guys got to realize that Zach and I, and even Anthony, we've all gone down the road of the self-sabotage shit, especially when we've been struggling. When I was struggling with my weight and trying to figure it all out, if I messed up a time or two, I would beat myself up just as much as you guys are out there beating yourself up. And what we're doing today is we're giving you permission to stop that shit, man. The bottom line is this is life. And if you want to enjoy life, if you want to eliminate anxiety and depression related to your health because you're not getting somewhere as quick as you think you should be, you have to realize that not only is it a journey, but the healthy decisions, don't get so fixated on the scale. The healthy decisions that you're making are not only helping the outside with what you want to see externally, but they're making a massive difference on what's going on the inside of your body. And you've got to take credit for the things that you're doing that might not be getting you at where you want to go as quick as you want to get there. The reality is, though, those positive choices are adding up to the big picture. And if you want longevity, you want quality of life, you just got to keep pushing forward, man. So that's my take. That's my last piece of advice. Anything else you want to say before we close shop, my man?
No, man, I think this was a great episode and we covered a lot. But my only final thought is just remember, we have the choice to focus on what it is we want to focus, right? We don't always get to choose the circumstance, but we always get to choose how we react. So if there's one piece of advice I want to give you is be aware of that. So don't react emotionally. Don't react impulsively. Don't react like a kid. Whenever something bad happens, take a step back, take a breath and think, okay? And just really, really, really give it just some serious thought of, should I do this or should I do that? Because we always have the choice, right? We always have the choice of how we react. So guys, just keep a positive mindset, focus on the good things, and you're going to get there sooner or later.
Love it, man. No, I think you nailed it. It is a great episode. It was a great episode. I think there's going to be a lot of guys that get value out of this episode, and I think you ended it well, man. So we will close shop. Obviously, it is Monday. Make sure if you're listening to this episode during the day on Monday and you haven't done something active today, make sure to get out there and do something so that you can carry that momentum for the rest of the week. Leverage momentum on Mondays. Don't skip. And to Zach's point earlier, we don't care what day you start. Just start, man. Like, you have one body, one life, and wherever you're at right now is because you're choosing to be there. If you want to choose a better path, it's time to step up to the plate and make yourself a priority. And that's all we have for this episode. You guys crush it the rest of this week. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.